Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and with me is that dealer of mystic goods, Twitch streamer extraordinaire, fashionista, artiste, and someone who hates it when I do this, the third-eyed mystic herself, the ever so lovely Neima.
Hello.
She absolutely hates that, but
Of course.
last time I didn't do it, so had to make up.
Gotta make up for that. Yeah.
So we have a good one for you guys tonight. Actually, not only do we have a good one, we have someone who, I almost said something vulgar, but we have someone who is appearing for the second time, but by herself for the first time. Does that make sense? I think it does. Or at least I hope it does. Anyway, tonight we're joined by a woman who has thoughts, and you can bet your butt we're going to hear them. Angels, demons, spirituality, and a few things in between we are going to yap about. Please welcome the other half of A Little Brew and a Lot of Tea, Simona.
Well, hi guys. That was a nice intro.
Oh, thank you.
Never had one before.
Yeah.
I will need that one recorded, Mel, so I can have the pep talk every day.
Okay, don't worry. I'll send you a copy of the recording.
Please do.
Yeah. So, how are you tonight, Simona?
Kind of anxious, but, open to whatever's coming.
Well, I'm not so sure you're open to whatever's coming. And the reason for that is because Stephanie mentioned something like, yeah, you should do some Oracle. What did you say? No. Oh, how about a long channel? No. Well, you got to do something. No.
Oracle. No.
So
she's a pusher.
I'm a pusher.
So you kind of have to. She's a lover and a pusher.
So, but don't worry, you don't have to do anything you're not comfortable with. We're not pushy here, unlike a certain red.
Well, thank God.
Yeah. So
I have enough of a push here.
Yeah. Now we're gonna jump right into it because it is a lot to cover, and I do want your thoughts on quite a few things. And you know what?
Hit me with the first one.
Well, this is kind of my theme for this month, and you guys saw Bonnie's Alien review of Alien 1979. Had Morgan on last week talking about her alien experiences. So let's start off with some alien talk.
Yes,
Neima?
aren't you a hybrid?
Neima, what do you think? Should we do the alien talk?
Of course. I'm interested to know her outlook on that.
Yeah, and well, before we get to her, you had a close encounter, kind of, right? Didn't you hear?
I have what I feel like are out of body experiences, and I feel like I'm getting abducted. So yeah,
that's you mean in real life or in your dream, Neima?
What?
In real life, like everyday life, you feel
like no, it's like I'm dreaming, but like astral projecting, but not. Like I'm in my body and I'm awake, but not. Right.
True.
Not kind of like you're aware, but not aware. And your physical body is still there, but it's almost like your spiritual body is just whoop, 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 whoop.
Maybe you're doing lucid dreaming, Neima.
You mean like when I'm in control?
Well, lucid dreaming, you're dreaming, but you're super much in control of where you're going and what your task. You have a certain goal in mind and what you're doing there.
Sometimes I do, but not all the time.
Right. I don't know. You may have an alien encounter.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, they're super rude when they put my body back down. Like I was floating back into my body, and they just like threw me. It was so rude.
So rude. Did you tell them you're rude?
I mean, obviously they hear me, so.
True.
So, Simona, what are your thoughts on E.T.? First, are you a believer or a non-believer?
Totally. I wish I could turn the camera to show you. I have quite a few aliens in this living room. So I am totally a believer. I even went to Alien Con this year in Pasadena. So I do believe in that. And there is yeah, it's right here next to you. Stephanie's asking, where's Paul? I have a big one. So it was right behind her. But there is a reason to it. Like Neima, I would say an experience, but I wouldn't say in real life. Like I had to go to a past life to get that encounter, I guess, and realize that and see what happened when I was that and what I experienced and all that jazz. So after that, it became kind of like my thing. And she's trying to bring the alien, if you can believe it. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yeah,
This is
there's
Paul.
Paul.
This is Paul. He's all dressed and all.
Oh my God.
He's really big.
Terrifying.
You know what we did? Funny story. When this Cocoa Puff, Stephanie, my ride or die, got it for me for, I think it was a Christmas. She got him and she said, please open the box this way. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, this crazy. She's crazy, you know? So I opened the box the opposite way of how she wanted me to open it. So I didn't get the hand first. I got the feet. And the feet were very slimy. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's losing her mind. What the heck did she buy now? So when I pulled him out, I'm like, oh my gosh, she got a paw. So I guess he was a prop in some kind of movie and she thought he was funny. So she got him. And the second funniest thing we did after she got him, we have a very close friend that lives in the same building with us. And she was like, you know, it would be funny if we would play one on George. So how about we put Paul on his toilet, and when George comes home, he goes to the bathroom, turns on the light, and finds Paul there. So George comes home, he waves at us, you know, and I'm like, George, just go leave your bags, go to the bathroom, and come to us. You know, we're having dinner. And he does that, and then you could hear Stephanie say, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you heard this girly scream. I mean, girly in the whole building. And the poor guy got scared like the scare of his life, you know, just seeing Paul on his toilet. So
Cruel.
I know, she's really cruel. So yeah, to say the least. But let me pass it on.
Yeah, that's mean. You don't.
I know, it's Stephanie. She likes to play
That's
tricks.
so mean. And real quick, hello everyone in chat. Thank you all for joining us. It's too many of you to name out, so you guys will get the semi-good. My voice is kind of sore, so or throat's kind of sore. So you get the semi-good hello. So let's see.
Hi,
Welcome
guys.
to Unexplained Possibilities. All right, so there you guys go. Yeah, so Paul is interesting. I wish Rose was here. She's in Australia sleeping at the moment, and she would tell you about some of her encounters. And she also has a Paul, but a lot smaller, not as freaky.
I have a smaller one too, like a baby. Steph, make yourself useful and bring the baby.
So
I have a baby.
Do you think that aliens? Do you think they are physical? What's the other one? Not is it non-corporeal or something like that? Like,
I mean, this is the thing. I personally didn't have the real life. A little.
That looks like the one from Men in Black.
Yes, totally. So I love you. This was the first baby. Stephanie was like, "Here, you have a baby, so you don't have one in real life." So, I mean, honestly, the only reason I even came close to the subject was because of my past life regression, where I literally went in a past life where I was alien, and it was kind of startling, to say the least. But it made a lot of sense in a lot of aspects and areas of my life, the life now. But I'm not dismissing anybody's encounters because, one, they're real to them. Two, I don't live their lives. And three, who am I to judge what connection they have to whatever species? I am definitely sure they are here. We are not alone out there. So if we think that, we're pretty delusional. But that's why I'm like, whatever floats your boat, whatever species you think you connect with, go for it. And honestly, after I did the past life regression and I realized what I was, it was the one time that I did channel that particular species because I was curious. And even my own husband was like, really? Like, you didn't want to do more? And I'm like, not really. I just wanted to see what they were thinking, pretty much. And they're kind of like impatient with us. Like, they got to the point where like, oh, you guys never learn. So that's pretty much my take on it. But I do believe we're not alone out there, for sure.
Two things real quick. George has popped up and he says, fake news. I didn't scream like a girl, but I did yell and it did scare the heck out of me.
Yeah, he screamed like a girl.
The second thing is, what species of alien?
So the life I first started, and when I went and I was an alien, was an Arcturian. And
Ooh.
Arcturians are known to be, I see them that way, and I still think to this day that they are the shapeshifters of angels, because they are a species that are highly intelligent and spiritual. And after the channeling, I realized that's how they appear to us as an angelic, because we cannot cope with their actual appearance.
Yeah, and
So,
I've said that to people before. Like, chances are what we see is not what they actually look like,
I
and
agree.
we can't handle what Neima.
I just had a thought because I would draw, like, I've drawn these. I don't know what I was just drawing to draw, and the drawing came out as like an alienish angel. And so I thought of that drawing, and I did that like years ago, but that's what popped in my head. I was like, oh, maybe that's what
There
they
you
look
go.
like.
I honestly, when I did the channeling, that's how they showed up. Like, they showed up first as, alien, and then as angels. So
Yeah.
my first question was that, like, why? And they were like, you guys can cope with our appearance. So we have to make it to a way where our messages get delivered and you understand where we're coming from, but you don't get scared, because we tend to be, if they would show up as they are, we would all be peeing our pants. So
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like that. Just like, think about even in terms of spirituality. Like, if God forbid you go into a house and they have, ghost encounters, if you're of a certain belief, you will get freaked out and never want to go there again. But reality is that ghost might not do you anything, most likely nothing. They just want to talk to you. So I don't know. That my take is, we can't cope with a lot of things nowadays that are happening, and one of them is aliens. Even though everybody seems to be like, "Oh, yay, goody! Let's learn about it. Let's encounter some. How do we meet them?" But in the end, in actuality, very few people are able to cope with them appearing in front of you.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot and kind of freaky. Something from a whole nother planet, world, dimension, whatever.
right.
You know. So
I know.
Get Smart Quick has a question, and it's an
Sure.
interesting one. Will
Okay.
doing weed help you see aliens, ghosts, etc.? I personally don't think so. I think you will imagine something. Uh-oh.
The person. I feel like I've definitely smoked a strain of weed before, and I could see the aura, which is like the energy field.
Mhm.
Right.
So I think that might be possible.
Well,
Depending on the
I
strain.
believe with the Emma, one thing, when you do any type of hallucinogenics or otherwise, You are less in control physically, mentally, so you're more open to be able to see stuff, maybe. Not, I'm not saying necessarily you might see ghosts, but you might see other things. I don't know, other dimensions, aliens, whatever. Your ancestors, I have no idea. Think of even the ayahuasca, because you guys were talking one of the episode about your episodes about ayahuasca trips. Out of people that I know that are spiritual and that have done that, my question has always been like, out of 10 trips, how many did you have a complete message from, I don't know, whoever you wanted on the other side, or spirit or demon or whatever, and that helped you grow spiritually in some way, move in a certain direction of your life forward? And most of my friends are out of 10, maybe 3 times. So it helps, but it doesn't do the work for you. If you're unwilling to go in there, it opens your mind and your soul to a point where, like, okay, I'm open to it. But if you're not going with the intention, oh, I want to solve my daddy issues, my trauma, whatever you have, that's never going to happen there, even if you do ayahuasca. So I don't know. I only had one kind of encounters, kind of, from, let's say, alcohol and doing, antidepressants. And to be honest, it wasn't, I can't call it like, oh, it was a spiritual Hail Mary, but I'm not dismissive. I know, for example, ayahuasca helps a lot of people that have trauma and that are willing to do the work. Just, I don't think that all of them go with that intention, that I want to solve how that will help me,
Well, one day we might do an experiment live on Unexplained. Neima, you will be the one mostly performing it, and we'll see what happens. So,
So we'll ask her, who is with you, Neima?
No way.
Is it an alien? Is it the demon? Is it the angel? Who is he?
do you see Elvis?
Exact. Do you see Elvis? I'm with you, Mel.
Okay, so you mentioned that Arcturians might convey themselves as angels. So you
Yes.
work with angels.
Yes.
And do you think that there is an exact relation with Arcturians? Or
I After that, honestly, I do feel that, because they are highly evolutionary beings and extremely spiritual to an extent we cannot understand in this life. So I do, but I still, when you connect with angels, when you do channeling or you do psychism, mediumship, whatever you want, you spirit shows themselves however you feel comfortable. So I'm comfortable with them showing themselves as angels, but I'm also comfortable with them showing themselves as aliens. Either one is fine with me, but
well-
mostly is angelic,
well, for me, they can show up as Barbara Eden or Elizabeth Hurley. I'll be cool. So
True.
that will never happen. But if it were, I would be a very happy.
Never say never, Mel.
Well, I don't know, because it's kind of weird. I talk about this stuff all the time, and I speak to various witches, paranormal investigators, blah blah blah. But I haven't exactly ever had an experience. Like
Yet.
No, it's no yet. It's I have not had an experience. So, and I can't say that I'm truly looking for one. I'm one of those people. I can believe without needing to see stuff. I'm good.
Right.
I live through other people. I'll listen to them. So it's a lot of lore around the angelic beings, like a lot, maybe too much. And sometimes we hear that they're all positive, good, happy, they will slap a demon, whatever. And I think a misconception is that angelic beings are always love and light, and I don't think that's necessarily true all the time. I'm not saying they're evil, but
Well, here's the kicker. having done, I stuck with my angelics for magic and stuff like that, but I have not dismissed any other spirits. So I managed to do magic with Stephanie, and she doesn't deal with angelics unless it's for healing, and we're doing Raphael, but that's pretty much the extent of angelics for her. So I can say working with angelics and working with demons, honestly, it is pretty much the same. There is no difference in how they present themselves, how they show themselves, the type of ritual you do. It's pretty much the same. And even how you connect with them, you know. But in terms of like they're all love and light, first of all, I don't believe in love and light because in
that's
anything,
it. We're done. Get out of here.
right? I don't, because even in, okay, let's take the tree of life, for example. It has 3 sides of it. It has a dark, the light, in the middle. So if it has that, then there is a light side, a dark side, and a middle combined. So I do believe, you know, whatever floats anybody's boat in terms of how they connect with a spirit. If you connect with angelics, go with it. Try it. But they would deal with you the same way that a demon would. You know, they would put you through trials and tribulations if you don't listen. And you would still have to do your shadow work, and you would still have to go through certain things in order to get what you want with their help. So I don't see necessarily a difference. You know, I know everybody's like, oh, it's all love and light. No, it's not. You know, it's not. Otherwise, we wouldn't take so long in getting what we want, even with their help, you know, because it takes a period in magic for you to accomplish what your wish or desire is. Whether you're doing it with an angelic or a demonic, it still can take time because of the situation. So I don't think there is much of a difference. Yeah. And I do think, if you think about it, there's 72 demons, there's 72 angels. So
it balances out. And
you know, there would be an opposite to a demon. So I don't know. I think they work together at the end of the day. But I think they present themselves to people however people can grasp it. Yeah. Some people can only do magic or do ritual if they deal with an angelic. Some people go with the demon. So, you know, and some don't go at all because they're afraid of either side.
Yeah.
So
Neima, you're afraid of both sides, aren't you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, but that's interesting because she said 72 and 72, which is, I think, 144, which is in the Bible. Yeah. So I found that interesting because I was always curious about that phrase in Revelations.
Yeah. So
that's why at the end of the day, it's all together. We've done rituals, plenty of rituals, me and staff, where it was an angel and a demon, and there was nothing different there. We still connected the same with the spirit. We did the same things for the ritual. So, and it was the same outcome together. It's just more energy, more, you know, power to it.
And this is something Curtis always says. Curtis Joseph. I mean, he gets a little loud at times. What are you guys talking about?
I watch him. I totally like that he's unfiltered. I love Curtis for being unfiltered.
But he oftentimes talks about how, you know, you have 72 here, 72 there, all meet in the middle, all is one. And you know, and then of course he'll get in, people are stupid. I'm just tired of stupid.
But you know what? In Curtis's defense, I mean, if I'll be blunt, if I want to meditate every day, I would kill a lot of people. Like I would. I get where Curtis is coming from because the amount of I mean, there is no stupid question because any question, you know, is deemed an answer and the person wants to learn. But at the same time, the amount of stupid that people put in front of you every day, and I bet Curtis has the most, you know, like in terms of his students and stuff. You're like, dude, for real, like, put your hand on a book, read something, like, before you ask me this, or watch a documentary. Should I send you to Gaia.com and read, like, watch a docuseries of something? You know, so there is a lot of that. So I can totally get where he's coming from. Because you do get a lot of stupid questions. You do get a lot of people that put their own drama to your lap and are like telling you novels of it. And then at the end, it's like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm not a magician in the sense of I can poof your problems. No, you know, so like there is a lot, like, an example it was recent with Stephanie. It was recent an email she got from this woman that wrote the novel, literally a novel. And at the end of the day, at the end of the novel, she stipulated that her current partner was beating her up and the kids. But what can she do to bring him close? And I'm sitting there reading. I took the time to read all that novel. And I'm like, so what did you answer? And she's like, I didn't even have an answer because I got too angry. So I get where Curtis is coming from. At some point, you're like, why? But I try to meditate every day so I don't get to that level of anger like Curtis gets. You know?
Let me meditate.
Yes. I mean, to be honest, the reason why I do use meditation more than anything is because, number one, I get way calmer. Number two, I can handle stupid easier. Like I can, okay, you do, not my monkey, not my circus. And three, I can connect with the spirits on the other side easier and more relaxed way. And I can talk to my family on the other side, and it's just more relaxing than talking to humans in real life and be like, oh, you drive me nuts. You know? So, yeah.
I'm trying to think what sets me off. Certain little things, chicken and waffles. Ugh.
Mel, I am with you. Okay, I've been so I'm an immigrant here. I've been here for 19 years. There's few things we digress from the spiritual part, but there are few things I understand in terms of food. And I've tried almost all the foods with very few exceptions. What is the point of the chicken and waffle? Why sweet with the chicken? Why? Am I eating a main course or am I eating dessert? Because I don't know. That whole thing, gross.
The sweet and savory, it sometimes goes, but I don't do chicken and waffles.
No,
and,
me neither.
And hello, everyone who joined us.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, boy. Behemoth, welcome. Jennifer, welcome. Jeans of Google. I do remember you because you said wet and slimy, and that is an unforgettable name. Thank you. And Harley, thank you for joining. Welcome. You guys don't get the good welcome because, well, my throat is sore. So, you know, you get this. So, anyway, so, Neima, what about you? What sets you off?
I think I get more sad than angry. Because I feel like I'm too empathic, and I could see, like, when I see stupid, you know, it's or angry people. Yeah, I can feel like where they're coming from or why they're that way, if that makes sense.
Oh,
true.
Well, that's nice. I mean, at least you get.
So I just want to cry all the time. It's not nice.
Well, aside from that, well, you see, that's why you got to be more like me, just oblivious and just walk your own merry way. You know, that's how I do it. Like that's probably actually, you know what? Now it makes sense. It's not that I don't have experiences. I'm just so oblivious and in my own world. I just they don't do anything to me. That's what it is. So now this is something that I have been telling every single person about because I was just so freaking happy after I received this. Simona did a channeling for me. And, well, why do you get that look like, oh, God, where's this going? What's going to happen? I am not doing a channeling, Melvin. No.
I have Definitely. So we went live with us. So
So
yeah.
she did a channeling for me and got in touch with Pearl. And if you guys listen to a few things that I've done on here, you'll know who Pearl is. And
Right.
it was really amazing. Put a lot of things into perspective. Took a lot of weight off of my freaking shoulders. I mean, I'm fat enough. I don't need any more weight. And just, it was really, really eye opening for me. How did you discover that you were able to channel? And actually, before that, what is channeling, and how were you able to discover you were you're? Oh, I just tongue twisted myself. Whatever. How did you figure out you could do it?
Uh, you know, I put it on hubby. He has this habit of like I've taken a lot of throughout the years, a lot of classes, a lot of like stuff that I was interested, subjects I was interested in, and every time I take a class, he's always like, "Well, did you do that?" But it's like the most oblivious thing, and I'm always like, "No, I'll try it," And one of the things was his dad had passed away and he wanted to know if his dad wherever his dad was, because his dad was Japanese, and he didn't believe in any type of religion or faith or any of it. So when he passed away, they buried him in the some sort of like denomination of Buddhism because of my mother-in-law, but he didn't believe in anything. So my hubby was very worried. Where is he going? Like he crosses over, but where is he going to end up? So his whole thing was like, can you talk to him, see where he is, what he's doing, is he happy, is he crossed over, stuff like that. So it was just to try, to be fair. And at the same time, I also had an uncle that had passed away, so I was more curious, like, of anything. Let's try it out, let's see how it is, let's see how it feels. So most of the times, it's not just people from that had passed away, it's people that could be just like Pearl. Like, I didn't know who Pearl is, I didn't know who she was, what she's doing, what she's gonna show me. I just, okay, Pearl, I want to know what you're doing, and this is what he wants. It's usually for channeling purposes. It's more targeted. Like, you go in there, open the door, and for me, it's a door, and I basically call on a specific name of the person that I want to connect with, and they come forward, whatever that is, alien being, ancestor, spirit on the other side, whatever it is. But the person usually that, like, you had specific questions that only you would know if the answer resonates with. And also when you do the channeling, that just like with the mediumship, I don't remember after 30 minutes what I have just told you, because that's not my message to keep.
You sound like me when I do tarot.
Yes,
I always forget, like, do you remember this reading? No, I don't remember Jack.
Yeah, you don't. It's not. That's how I knew it wasn't me and being all gifted and shit. It was spirit, because I can't do that. I couldn't do that. I just asked the spirit to lead the way and show me, and I always do. Like, it always happens when the people want that. So I guess it was just more chance than anything. And even into like mediumship in general, I stumbled very weirdly. One night I used to have very bad insomnia, very bad, for massive amount of years. I would sleep maybe 2 hours a night, and I barely functioned on a daily job. But one night when I couldn't sleep, I texted this friend of mine in the spiritual field, and I said, I was watching this TV show. The TV show was about a medium. And I was so fascinated with the TV show. I texted her and I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if I would be able to talk to the dead? And she replies 2 hours later when she comes home from the club saying, honey, we all have the same gifts. Some of us work at it more than others. So when she said that, it kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, she's right. We all have the same gifts. We just, some of us are more open to do something about it, or go on that path, even if it's uncomfortable. So I started that. And of course, I took classes, I had mentors, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I was born with this from age 5 and I could read this. Yeah. Oh, to be honest, that's one of the things hubby is always like, oh, the journalists state that, oh, they were born with this since they were like 2 and they did readings. And I have yet to encounter a lot of people in this field. I have yet to encounter people that were doing readings at 5. You didn't even know your name. How? You didn't even know to tell me if that's a spirit or not. So, that's what irritates me. Everybody thinks that, yeah, we all are born with the same gifts. Some of us are more receptive to the nuances of it. Some of us want to go and learn about it, learn the rules of engagement, even just like magic. You don't just wake up and be like, I'm a magician, I can manifest shit. You have to learn the rules of engagement regarding it. It doesn't just poof. So in this direction, I think we just have to work at it a little bit more.
All right. So no, you're a wizard, Harry. None of that.
No, we're not wizards.
Now, I do actually feel that even though we're all capable of the same thing, I do feel that sometimes we excel more in some areas than others. Like we just have an affinity for something.
I
Like,
agree.
so for you it might be channeling, whereas for Neema it might be I don't know the correct terminology, but it might be picking up on those feelings and knowing when someone instantly is a good person or a scumbag or
Right.
some walking murderer. You want to stay away from them. So
Neema, you better tell us when you come close to a walking murderer.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Okay, so Ghost Rider. Oh, and hello, Paranormal Witch, and goodbye, Paranormal Witch. Ghost Rider has a question, which is a different one. Is there a religion to worshiping UFOs? I know,
Oh,
I know there was a cult, Heaven's Gate. I wouldn't say
yeah,
they were a religion,
right. No,
and
it was a cult. I agree with you.
yeah, I would say, yeah. So
But nowadays, I think at the end of it, everybody, like any lunatic, can make his own religion and cult. So yeah, if you're obsessed enough, maybe.
yeah,
I don't know if I would follow that, but if you go to the conventions, usually you do see certain more obsessiveness for certain things. But I don't think there is a religion out of it. But people could make a religion out of anything. So
yeah. I mean, there's the religion of the flying spaghetti monster. So I mean, why the heck not?
I mean,
Let him bless you with his noodly appendages.
just noodle. Good one.
You know, yeah. So I don't know. It's probably some fanatics out there, but saying that, how do you define religion? Like, what constitutes as a religion?
Oh, oof, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
So where I come from originally, which is a little country called Romania in Europe, it is pretty much defined as the whole country is so religious, to the point where there is let's say 50% Greek Orthodox, a 45% Catholic, and a very significant 5% of other, which have to be in the shadows, like Muslim or Baptist or whatever.
Communist?
Not anymore. So it used to be communist country, but of course we're not anymore since 89. But the whole religious factor is so embedded. If you get a Romanian here and you have a religious discussion, which I did, I had friends that came over from Romania and we started debating on religion, you get shocked of how much in a bubble of their own mind is they are, just because they live there and they are surrounded only by religious people. So even though they maybe want to escape physically as a geographical point, they can never escape that mindset of, I was born this way, I'm gonna die this way. So that was one of the lines my grandmother used. Like when I was debating with her on, for example, in Greek Orthodox, we were Greek Orthodox. It was like a saint day almost every 2 days. So let's say it was St. Nicholas today, you were not allowed to do dishes, to wash clothes, to do stuff. So one day it was, I don't know what saint day. So my grandmother was like, you can't do that. It's Saint whatever day. And I'm like, okay, Grandma, show me in the Bible where it says this person was a saint, why he is a saint, and I'll celebrate it with you. I'm going to stop doing all that stuff. So her reply was, well, it's not in the Bible, honey. It's in the books of the church. So I'm like, okay, so hold on a second. You do believe in the Bible, right? So she's like, yeah, but we follow the books of the church. So I'm like, so how exactly, if it's just one book that God supposedly wrote, so why are you following the books of the church? She didn't have a follow-up explanation to that. So I'm like, Grandma, I think you need to change. And her replica was like, if I change now, I will not be buried next to my husband because I will be the outcast of them all. And it was just the mere fact that even like the burial grounds are owned by, Catholics or Greek Orthodox. So you have nowhere to be buried. She was right. They wouldn't even, they leave you in the street.
Oh, darn.
So
I guess I'd be in the streets. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. Like there was this, I don't know, I was in the United States for a while, and there was this a journalist in Romania that passed away of cancer, and very, very big guy. And his last wish was to be, his last wish was to be buried in a specific spot, and he didn't want to, the priest to go and, do his service at his funeral because he didn't believe in it. The government didn't approve it because this guy didn't follow a certain religion. So even though it's his dying wish to be buried there, his family was willing to pay just because he wasn't a follower of a certain religious factor. So I don't know. I'm glad that I'm not there to get in between that, but yeah, it's pretty brutal in terms of religion. And I have to say, even here in some aspects, I've learned that people are, especially if they're religious, you're with me or against me, pretty much.
At one point, I wanted to be mummified.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I said, when I fork over, just mummify me. Well, I would be dead. I don't care. I mean,
but the thing is, this body is a vessel. It's not like you're taking it on the other side. That's another thing I was trying to explain to my grandmother. I ain't taking this with me. Thank God. I can eat how much cake I want on the other side. I'm not going to get fat. So why would I care so much about how they take care of it when I die?
Yeah.
Burn the shit out of me.
I agree.
Yeah, so at one point, I wanted to be mummified, and then I was like, I wonder how expensive that is. So
see,
exactly, yeah.
So then I said, you know what? Who is in the mausoleum? Is it Lenin? Who they have his body preserved?
Yes,
like,
Lenin.
I want that. I changed it.
I don't even think it's him there, Mel.
It probably isn't, but I don't care. And, it's like, yes, okay, this I can, yes. And then I said, forget it. Just stuff me in a statue somewhere and be done with it. So,
No.
What about
burned.
you?
I want to be burned. Burned.
What about you, Neima?
I agree. I don't really care what they do with my body. Just burn it.
The only thing I am pretty obsessed with one thing prior to dying. If I'm like hooked up to machines, better take all my organs and whatever's good out of it, give it to someone that needs it, because again, I'm not taking it with me on the other side, so it's fine.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
charitable. That makes sense.
I mean,
I can't say I'm the same. I don't even know my blood type, so everyone's up the creek without a paddle if they have to rely on me. What's his blood type? Check his ID. He doesn't know it. Oh no.
I did. I actually did. There was a reason why I did. When my mom got sick, she needed a kidney transplant. We had to check blood type because usually the family is more. You can be more. You can be a donor if you are on the same blood type, and that's when I checked, and when it came through, my mom laughed. She's like, "Honey, for real, like I only have two choices. Either you or grandma. I'll take grandma." So she refused mine because AB positive in Romania is known to be the blood type of alcoholics and crazy people. And
Oh
yeah, I'm not
gosh.
an alcoholic, but crazy, I might say that.
Okay. I've heard about like in Korea, I think, or Japan, it's like almost like tarot reading. Like they base your personality off of your blood type.
Oh my God, my mother-in-law, this is true, Neima, you were right. My mother-in-law didn't necessarily like me in the beginning because of the blood type. She didn't even know me. But when I said the blood type, that was it. And I'm like, well, sorry. I thought it was ridiculous because she had never even seen me. And I'm like, really? You judge someone based on their blood type? That's kind of rude. So yeah, I'm with you.
So Crazy's an alcoholic, AB positive, and Doug just says he's AB positive. So
Yes.
Neima, do you know your blood type?
Oh, positive?
Oh, positive. I don't know what it means, but someone out
Yeah.
there, look it up and tell us.
I'm just the universal donor, but I think in Japan it's like really bad. It's really tragic.
It totally is.
Hey, but if you're a universal donor, man, you're definitely sticking close to me. Like, serious, since I don't know mine, man, I gotta have
Mel,
something.
we have to send you a freaking kit to take your own blood type.
I wouldn't do it. I'm
Figure-
afraid of needles. I can't. I can't do it.
Come on, Mel.
I can't
it's
do
just
it.
a poke in your finger.
I can't do it. You're not understanding. I can't do it.
Mel, you're gonna have to visit me and Stephanie. We'll do it for you.
No, trust me. You don't want that. Like, let me tell you a quick story real quick. So when I was much younger, I had a nasty asthma attack, and I was in the hospital and everything, and they had to get me hooked up to whatever. And my mom told them, she said, because she saw the needles that was coming, she said, hey, you're going to need more than one person if you're going to try and poke him with this. Mind you, I was like maybe 7 or 8. And the nurse was like, oh, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. 2 seconds later, apparently I kicked her across the room. Like, get out of here. And it was about 5 more people who came in and they got me. So, trust me.
Phil, we'll put you under somehow. Stephanie will find a way.
Yeah, watch them drug the cake. Like, here, Mel.
You know what? Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea, Mel. I'll make you some cake, some red velvet cake. You'll never know.
Oh, man. Well, now you see, you're going to get me paranoid. That stuff I remember. I'm not oblivious to that.
No, I wouldn't do anything without your consent.
I know. But yeah, so I can't. I'm absolutely terrified of needles. I can't handle them.
But what if you would need to do insulin? What would you do? You just
I hope they
die
make a pill. Or can I swallow it? Because I'll write out the will, take care of Sweet Pea, and that's it.
Good one, Mel.
So that's how we have to go with that. But you know what? Speaking of blood and ritual work, they kind of go hand in hand together.
Yes.
So, out of curiosity, when you're doing your work, how do you feel?
So we do blood ritual for sure. I do believe that's a very, very clear and fast connection to whatever spirit you're invoking. And for me, because I'm more clairvoyant, makes me connect in a way where I can actually see them. So definitely every ritual gets a blood offering usually. So I don't have a fear of it. I never did, but I have friends that were like, why the blood ritual? Why not candles? Why not food? To be honest, it would be more of a hustle to get the food than to do the poking in your finger and be like, here, take it. Let's commune.
So,
You know.
does the blood act as a currency, or does it act like a connection?
It is both. It is not as a currency, 'cause it's not like you're paying the spirit,
Uh,
but it's more of a them seeing, okay, you're serious about this conversation between you and spirit. It's like you're invoking that spirit, but just because you play with a little bit doesn't mean that you're serious about what you're doing. You can just go through the motion. But when you do the blood ritual, you're actively focused on, I want to communicate with you in a serious way. It's not just, oh, let's light some candles,
okay.
you know.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense. It's in a weird way, it's almost like a sacrifice, even though I'm not for
yes,
live
I'm not,
sacrifices.
yeah, no, me neither. I don't, I mean, it's not, I do understand back in the old days it was used a lot, but we're not anymore there. Our vibration can be higher than needing the I don't know, to murder a cat, or I don't know, a chicken or whatever. I think spirit can see you're serious with just you and the spirit, and just the blood offering from yourself.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, well, I like to think that because, sometimes well, okay, got someone like me who's like, I can't do this blood thing. I suppose if I were to do it, it'd be like, oh, hey, this guy is serious. But
Right.
apart from that, sometimes we don't have all the tools, we'll say, at our disposal. So do you
True.
think making a genuine, honest effort, opening up and offering the little that you have, do you think that makes a difference? Do you think they care? Or it's like, no, give me this specific
Mhm.
thing and that's it?
To be honest, I've done that too. It's not like for someone like you that's afraid of needles, maybe have a conversation, be like, okay, spirit, I'm serious, but I really am afraid of it. But I don't know. I do feel that they need some sort of offering of whatever sort you feel like, whether it's food, chocolate, candy, whatever. I don't know what the particular spirit wants, because different spirits want different things.
Yeah.
I honestly prefer, I don't like the idea of food. I don't know why necessarily, you know. Maybe because it sits around and,
Yeah.
brings bugs and stuff like that. But I do feel like the blood is more, um, it's a faster connection. I don't know. And it gives me more vision. So that's why maybe I stuck with it the most.
Neema, what would you do?
I'd do blood.
Gosh, you're one of them.
I don't have a fear of needles at all.
Me neither.
Yeah, you're
Poke me now. Take
Yeah.
it. We're good.
okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, Mel, I don't know. It's also like the attachment to this current life. I don't necessarily have like, think about it in this term. Like, if tomorrow you were to die, yeah, a lot you would think, maybe I had so many things I wanted to do, but at the same time, do you have that much regret? Like, you could have done a lot of stuff that you enjoyed up to this moment. You died, you went on the other side. That's fine and dandy.
Honestly, I would be worried about Sweet Pea.
Aw.
Mel, you can leave her in your will and testament. We'll take her. We have so many kittens we're fostering, so
Yeah,
one more wouldn't be any different.
well, you gotta understand, she doesn't like black cats. Uh,
Luna's not black. We don't have black here.
okay. And
We're good.
oh, what happened? Did we lose you? Oh, you're back. Okay. Yeah, she
Back.
doesn't like black cats. She has a little bit of OCD. Uh, she has to go outside to do her business because that's what she does. She doesn't have a litter box, and she has to go out 3 times a day. She
Okay,
has
Mel, we would put her on a schedule. That girl would be changed in no time.
Oh no, she wouldn't.
Oh yes, you.
I no, this cat is crazy. Like, good luck.
I have one at home.
Oh,
Don't worry.
and that's the other thing. She doesn't like women.
What?
Oh, okay. We
Yeah,
have a problem, Houston.
she doesn't like women. So it would be
Now we'll find a way. Don't worry. We'll not leave Sweet Pea by herself in this lifetime.
yeah, but
She'll be
that's
somewhere.
very extreme if I were to just fork over. But that would be one of my biggest concerns. It's the
Sweet
cat.
Pea. No, I told Stephanie if she dies before I do, and she always asks. She always is like offended. Like, really? I'm gonna die first? I'm like, you might. I told her I will take the boys, the two boys she has. But the other thing I would do, she has this bottle of wine that she never let me open. I will crack that bottle of wine right down in there. And I'll be like, oh, come on, boys, we have to celebrate here. So yeah, that's the first thing. And she kept saying she's gonna haunt me down even after from the afterlife because of that bottle of wine.
Ooh,
So
all right.
I'll take the cats. I'm fine with the cats.
And the wine.
Yeah, and the wine and the cats. I'll take that.
Now,
And I guess the massive crystals would help too.
now, going back to a little bit of ritual talk and magic work, is how did you discover? Like, I'm getting tongue tied again. There are various ways of doing magic. We'll say.
Right.
How did you find the one that was specific towards you, that you gravitated toward, that you were like, I bond with this. This works.
To be fair, it was more of a. I have to credit this to Stephanie because I told you, she's the pusher of them all. Like when you're uncomfortable, she'll push you there. Okay, let's see how you play with it. So we had. I don't even remember what it was the first. First we did. I remember we did angelic magic. We were doing healing for someone. There was somebody close to us that was sick, and we were, let's do something for this person. And because I had never really done work with demons, I was like, why don't we just do work with an angel? So she was open to it. So that's how we started. But then we did demonics. And I remember I even told her afterwards, I'm like, but there is no real difference. It's who do you prefer? On my own, I prefer the angelics because I have more visions. And I'm all about the visions. I'm all about like commune with me, show me stuff, show me messages for people, stuff like that. The demonics, they do show stuff, but I feel more connected on my own with the angelics. When we do it together, because it's an energy combined, it's different, So, I guess whatever floats your boat. But I would say try it. Don't dismiss it. Because I had people that were like, aren't you afraid to go and do this with the demon? Or first it was like, aren't you afraid to go in Stephanie's house and see all that and see spirits? And I kept thinking, I have never been afraid to go in that house. And there's so many spirits there. I've never ever felt like uneasy, and I don't know. A lot of the times, of course, I have visions with spirits from that she has in her house. And I don't have a problem with that. And on the other spectrum, like doing work with her with the demonics, I understood demonics, just like angelics, have pretty similar rules of engagement, pretty similar way of you going about that when you want something. But what most people don't understand, even now, and that's where I come back to Curtis. I get why Curtis gets so
Passionate.
like not angry, but I think agitated sometimes, because people don't understand. You can do magic for them, and you can help them accomplish certain goals or certain, I don't know, bring certain people in their lives. But like Stephanie has this phrase, you can fuck up a wet dream. And I can do the magic for you. But if you go about and like you want a new job, but yet you're not applying for that new job, I can do 10,000 spells for you and it will never work. So, or you want someone special in your life, but yet you're not going out to meet someone, or you're not going on, dates even online, whatever. I don't know. It's people think that it's just the magic has to be put out there. It's not sparkle and fairy dust. It's also the person having to do their side of the work,
Yeah, you got to meet in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
What you do magically emulate physically of it's some
Exactly.
form or fashion.
Right. So I think people get scared easily, I think, because of the way they were raised. However you were raised originally, you get scared. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I never did. Yeah, I did. There were certain spirits and certain demons. I was like, girl, are you sure? Like the first time she tried to work with Pazuzu, I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Because I can't take you from the ceiling if something happens. I don't know how to do that. But then I had to get beyond the fear and the embedded beliefs, and realize it's just a spirit. You go in front of them with the same open heart and whatever petition you want, and talk the same way as you would to any other spirit with same reverence. I think more than anything, people don't understand. Going in front of a spirit requires reverence. You're not talking to an average Joe there.
Yeah,
they connect with the same vibration, but it's not the average Joe. It's someone that you should respect.
Yeah, exactly. Be respectful, and don't be a wiener. Definitely don't. And this is where I think a lot of times the Western magicians get it wrong. Don't try to control them. Like, I think that's where Solomon definitely messed up. Like, you don't try to trap. Don't try to control. Do you want to be trapped?
I don't see even the purpose. Like, what's the purpose of you trying to put a spirit like a genie in a bottle? What's the point of that? You're going to be my slave forever or what?
Yeah, so just be respectful to the spirit. It doesn't matter what it is. And saying that, I also think we project our own fears onto them. And by that, I mean what we put out is what we get back. If you see, think, feel they're these big scary monsters or whatever, then that's what you're going to get back, because that's what you expect. That's what you see. And if it comes back like a puppy dog or whatever, would you really believe it? Would you be like, hey, that's not, no, get out of here? So it's just one of those things.
Right.
Neima, what's your take on it?
On what exactly?
On oh gosh, I don't know. You're supposed to be paying attention, darn it.
I am paying attention, but I'm just like, like I don't practice. Yeah. So I've never invoked or done that part of it. But I think the same, like I don't think there's a difference. But I mean, I could see people having fear of demons like that. So I get it, but I agree with her. Like there's not really a difference.
Yeah. So would you take part in a ritual?
It's not a fear thing. It's not. It's more of a like, what would I do it for? Well, you know what I mean? Like I don't know personally.
Let's say you want to buy a house. You want to get the dream job. You want to get the hobby. I don't know.
Well, you know what, though? Yeah. I would actually say that maybe it's not for any type of material gain. Maybe it's just for insight to understand yourself better. Or just to experience something different.
Yeah. I could see that. Like, I'd probably use it to figure out my depression or something.
So, that's, but hey, if $1 million fell out of the sky from a ritual, I'm all for that too. Arms are open,
Right. No, Mel, not that much. I mean,
Oh no, I will take shoot. Not that, yes, that much or more. Just in this
Do it,
case,
do it.
though, just because it might be a gin type of situation, have it
Okay.
land on a car or something, not on me exactly. But yeah, because with the gin, lore says that they're like a monkey's paw. Like, oh, you'll get your wish, but in the most messed up way. Oh, you want $1 million? Fall out the sky. Here you go. Blep. Just landed on me. Oh, look, your medical bills are now $1 million.
I don't know. I'm not for the $1 million necessarily.
Yeah.
More
I
for
know
me.
it comes with a price. The $1 million will always come with a price.
Yeah, and Uncle Sam start questioning you. Where'd you get this from?
Go.
Did you pay the taxes on it? And yeah. So, what is the most common request that you get to do a ritual for magic on?
I think the most we get is healing nowadays. And I would say lots of healing, lots. And I would say jobs. People want jobs, but not just kind of like I want the right job for me, not the job I think I'm right for, kind of like that. And love. I have to say people are obsessed with the bring him back to me. And I'm always like, girl, really?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I had a reading earlier today and they asked about love. And it was weird because for the first time I felt like some enlightenment hit me. And now I'm going to actually start questioning people with love because from what I could tell, it's not that she wanted love or relationship. She wanted companionship. And I think people get those two mixed up. A companionship versus relationship. Sometimes we're lonely and we need someone. We need someone to hear us, speak to us, and just help us feel not so lonely. Whereas with the relationship, well, you got to put work into that. You're going to spend money and you have to plan date nights and develop those feelings. And really, you just want someone to hear you, not necessarily anything else.
But that's what best friends are for. Animals, your pets. Like, I don't think most of them are not ready for a relationship. They already have been like, if you had 2 husbands, why are you going for the third one? You obviously have some issues. Go solve them with a shrink first. Sorry, that's the truth.
Is that a dig at a certain someone?
Because people are in their head with that. Or, for example, the other example is nowadays we see an influx of women doing work on almost every date they have. Like, make him come to me and make him stick with me. And, I don't know, 3 weeks later is someone else and we're doing work again on a new one. And now we wanting to be bound to this person too. And it's like people are not sure of their own shit. Like, girl, stay single for a year, 12 months to see what do you like? What do I actually want in a man? Do I really want that or is it something else? But if you can't enjoy your own company for a little bit or the demons in your own head, like, sorry, you need to see a shrink. You don't need him in your life.
That's funny. I said something similar for this reading. Like, are you sure this is what you want? You just horny, aren't you?
That's the only thing I really fear about like being a tarot reader or someone like you guys. It's just like the people that you have to deal with, and then some people who keep coming back, and it's like almost a dependency on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's too much for me.
Well, the sad part is this. I didn't have that, but Steph had that. She reached the point at some point in work, maybe a year or so ago, where there was such an influx of this kind of people that were dependent of her work. They were driving her nuts, and to the point where, they were treating her like first and foremost as a shrink. Like she had to have like therapy first before you even do the work. And I had to tell her once, like, that's not what they're paying you for. They come to you to perform a task. You do the ritual, whatever they paid for. The rest, the psychiatric help, needs to be going to a psych ward or shrink. Sorry. That's shadow work for you. I'm not doing shadow work for you. You have to do it. And I'm not spending time trying to make you understand that the guy that beats you up is not the right one for you. Because we even had, this was like a month or so ago, we had this girl and she said her traumatic story. And my question to her was, but do you think that's how love looks like? And her answer was like, well, but he's not like this all the time. And you're sitting there like, all the time, girl. Even like for a split second, he would be out. Get out of the door. But that's how this person thinks love is. So who am I as a person that performs a service, be like, oh, hold on, I have 3 hours, I can squeeze in a therapy work for you? No, you paid for a service, you get the service, see ya. Go deal with your demons, just like anybody else. Because even we doing spiritual work, you deal with your own demons. You have to go through certain steps where you have to not be affected by anybody, like Neima was saying, like feeling all their hurt, sorrow, whatever trauma they went through. I don't care. I used to, Neima. I was with you on that.
Yeah.
I used to highly. It was horrid. I would get into a room. I'll never forget. Quick story. When I came to the United States, I started going to this Christian non-denominational church. And one of my friends started inviting me to a Bible study. So I went. 25 women. You get into a room with 25 Cocoa Puffs and you feel their fucking energy every 25 fucking energies. Horrid. And at some point, there was one, and this...
So relatable.
It was bad. It got so bad to the point where one of them used to come on rotation every 6 months, and she had depression and she would drink a lot. So when you mix antidepressants with alcohol, it doesn't go well. And one of the things it does, it makes you want to commit suicide more. So she would come every 6 months in the Bible study, confessing to everybody how she wanted to commit suicide the night before, and oh, poor me. So at some point when she came like the third time, I don't know if I had an episode. I was very calm when I said it. And I'm like, honey, next time, call me. And everybody's like, oh, how sweet of you. I'm like, no, call me. I'll help you out. I'll give you a knife, a push, a shove. I'll put you in front of a cart, whichever you want. And everybody was shocked. We're in Bible study. You're not supposed to say this kind of stuff. And they're like, how can you say that to her? She's such a fragile state. And I'm like, well, maybe somebody should tell her. Go see a shrink instead of go home and have antidepressants with alcohol and cry a river on my shoulder. Like, I give a shit. No. I have to do the work just like you do. Do you know? And I was angry. I was so angry. I said, I went to my shrink and had therapy yesterday. I had to deal with my shit. So maybe somebody should tell her to deal with hers instead of being like, oh, you poor thing. I feel for you. No, I don't feel for you. I felt for you the first time. The next 5 times I don't. Because guess what? People commit suicide. They stay home. They don't tell us all. And they just do it. They're not there. Oh my God, I want to kill myself. Don't call me. Because I'll help you.
Not to put too much personal info out there, but Neima said something along those lines one
Neima,
time.
call me next time. I will help you.
No, not the suicide part. It was the...
No, I'm like that too.
It was the go home, just stay home and do it. Whatever.
Yeah, because I don't make my problems other people's problem. Like, I don't do that. And that's what these people do.
But the thing is, like, me and Stephanie have this discussion. That's why we had the podcast come up. The thing is, if you are in such a dire need of somebody hearing you, let's say you don't want to go see a shrink, because a lot of people have this idea, oh, therapy sucks. Yeah, it does suck. Some of us have been there. But it gets better. But call a best friend. call someone that's willing to listen to you. Go through your bullshit once and ask for help. When you get set help, whatever shape you want it, of accountability, then do something about it. Don't sit there and be like, yeah, I've been there myself. I've been in those situations. But at some point, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, do I really want to wake up this fucked up every morning? How the hell am I living life? There has to be more to it than this. And I think that's why a lot of people, me and Stephanie were having this discussion recently. A lot of spiritual people go on a certain path where they go cocoa for Cocoa Puff. Not because of the spiritual work, but because they don't let themselves have a period where they assimilate that. Whatever information they got from spirit, however they communed with spirit, there is a period where you have to take time out, ground yourself, and, assimilate all that, especially when you do very big rituals. But people don't do that because they think, oh, I'm invincible. No, you're not. Nobody's invincible to anything. Like Neima was saying, you feel the energy of everyone, whether you're more sensitive to it or not. It can make you cocoa.
Yeah.
But if you do, I bet she does certain things, rituals on a daily where, okay, this helps me stay grounded. This helps me not get affected so much. You have certain routines that help you.
I mean, no, not really. But I mean, if you could give your advice on that. I mean, I'm slowly learning, and I take a lot of self-care, and that's what it is. But I wish there was an easier way, because if I were to do the self-care, I'd be like self-care all day, all the time.
I think
I wouldn't deal with anyone.
I think the number one thing, I'm an advocate of it. It helped me a lot. I'm big on therapy. Sorry, I am. Like, I know people don't like it, but I am. I've done therapy. There was a point in my life in the United States where I'm not a fan of drugs in general. I've taken them. They didn't help me. They made me worse. But when it came to therapy, that helped me process whatever emotions I had in a more contained way and safer. And also big on meditation. I have a daily ritual of it. Hell can break loose. I don't care if you're dying, who needs this. There is a certain amount of time in the day where zip it, quiet, do whatever floats your boat. I'm taking my time. And in general, I don't know, sleep. I'm trying to get to sleep to a decent hour if I can, if not, but it does help more than anything. And
So when you do like rituals, do you take like a certain amount of time off because you're too, you get too up here and then you just got to ground yourself? So do you do those breaks, or what does that look like?
Yeah. Like I don't do ritual like right away. If I have to do ritual right away, I would be like high as a kite all the time. And energy. I think when you do ritual, it's a high of energy. It's huge high of energy. I've never done drugs, so I can't say, but I can equate it to that. And that's why we had this conversation on our podcast. I'm not a fan. I know everybody does things the way they want, and please don't take offense to it, but I'm not big on alcohol consumption or drug consumption before doing ritual, because I personally want to be free and clear. My mind should be sharp. Whatever I see, feel, or sense, I want to be able to vocalize it. And I want to be able to process it. So if I'm like with drugs in my system, I could be like, well, maybe I was too high. So I wouldn't be able to necessarily distinguish between what's spirit and what's not, if you understand what I mean. But in terms of after ritual, yeah, you have to take time. You can't even go to bed right away because you're so on a high, after. So
And then
Definitely.
you take a break, like you said, get grounded. So you get grounded, and then you wait until like your next ritual, and then
You can
you
not
know what I'm
necessarily,
saying?
you can do one like the next day, but you have to take certain steps, like I don't know,
Mhm.
salt baths. Take a black salt bath, that helps. It removes the negative energy, out of you, or the energy that you're too hyped up on,
Yeah.
because you do get that. So I don't know, take a bath with salt. um in general, I would say relax and ground yourself as much as you can, or one can. And you have to give yourself a little period of processing everything. But there are times when you have to do rituals one after the other. Like, you have certain specific spirits you have to work with, where you have to do, I don't know, 11 days. Every day you have to do a ritual. But that's why it is important, your daily spiritual hygiene.
Hmm.
Just like, I would say, like with any kid, a kid likes consistency. Your body needs consistency in terms of how how the body processes energy, whether you're just reading for someone or you do a ritual. Rituals are more massive amount of energy exchange, but even like Mel does cards, you do psychic work there, because a spirit will tell you stuff. So psychically, you are in tune with that spirit. So after that, you're still on high.
Mhm.
So yeah, there is a lot of steps, but once you start doing them consistently, I think consistency is key in that. You start feeling much, much better and much more clear. Like, I think 5 years ago, I finally started sleeping, which was amazing. I never thought I would ever. I didn't know what actual sleep meant. I knew what a nap
Crazy.
means. I didn't know what, when somebody would say, "Oh, I slept 8 hours," I would be like, "Oh my God, how does that feel? How does that feel? 8 hours." And now I'm like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." But it took a long time. And, going and unpacking everything in therapy also, yeah, that helped too. But I have to say, like, communing with spirit was the most helpful. Like, when I understood that I mean, it made me want to talk to spirit more than with humans, to be fair. It's a nicer way, like less judgmental.
Less judgmental.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
realistically,
so
humans are judgmental no matter what, Mel. I
Yeah,
don't
even
care.
if they're trying not to be, they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
so we
And
are
realistically, go
we're gonna
ahead.
have
Sorry.
to wrap it up. We're a little over actually, so we're
Sorry.
gonna wrap
Sorry,
it
guys.
up. But before we do, Simona, something you've accomplished recently, you and Stephanie actually, you
Yes.
are a certified Reiki practitioner, right?
Yes. That
So,
was on my bucket list.
oh wow, congrats on checking that son of a monkey's
Well,
uncle off.
thank you.
So how does Reiki work? What is that, real quick?
So, I think I encountered this modality maybe 10 years ago or more. I was going through a rough time mentally, and a friend of mine just told me, "Get dressed. I'm taking you somewhere. Somebody's going to help you." I'm like, "Okay." I was so deadbeat. I was like, "Okay, I'll try anything at this point." So we went to this lady that did Reiki. And the weird part was, she just said, "Just lay down and for an hour, just listen, listen, and pay attention to whatever you're feeling, and not, you have your eyes closed during the entire time." It is, she called it angel therapy. And at that time, I didn't understand what she meant. But after the first session, I understood what she meant. First of all, nobody touches you during Reiki healing. It is basically an exchange of energy with a spirit help or not. Most do it with a spiritual help, but it could be just your own energy filtered. And you focus that energy more intensely on certain areas where you find that are problematic for the person. And trust me when I say, if you work with spirit, you will find those areas of where the person has issues, whether it's spiritual issues or their physical issues. You will be able to pinpoint. And for an hour, you literally put that energy all throughout this person's body. So just like with healing rituals, I am big on that. So I enjoyed it done on me myself a lot throughout the years. But of course, when you learn it, I want to incorporate it, to do it for others, of course.
Okay. So there you go. So can people actually come to you and schedule a session or anything?
I have not yet, other than the close ones, no.
Come on
But they
now.
could. I'm not
Well,
against
okay,
it.
because Neima's gonna go to you then one day. She's gonna be
No
like,
problem, Nima. You can come over. I'll rock you out.
Okay.
that means something else in the ghetto.
I mean, not that way, Nima. I'm just saying, like, healing work. Healing work.
All right, so that'll be fine because I'm curious about it. So and
You're
Neima,
invited. We invited you over a lot of times.
well, I know, but
mean,
I get that, but Neima's the guinea pig, so
Nima.
I've done Reiki before, so I'm not scared of it.
So,
There you
and
go.
will you take us out? I know what you're going to say, but Simona, would you take us out with an oracle? With an
Oh
oracle?
God. Okay,
Oh, she's
fine.
gonna do it. Yes.
I mean, I have them here. Might as well.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see the collective message. Oh, okay. We have 3 cards. Oh. Interesting. I got harmony. I love this card and how the energy flows out of it. I got abundance. And again, all about the energy exchange. And I got flowering. So I guess the message is when you're in flow, you will always have abundantly, and abundance will be sent your way. When you're not, that's not going to be for you. So I guess get yourself in check and do some meditations. Sit on with yourself and listen to the voices of spirit or higher being or just your own damn self. Connect somehow with something, and then you'll be able to manifest abundance and excel of things. So I guess that's my message from this oracle.
All right. Right on. Thank you.
You are very welcome, Bill.
So, if people wanted to check you out, because I know you're very, very private, like me.
I mean, we've had this discussion. You and I had this discussion in private. Yeah, I try to be, and we've had the talk because I think I'm sad to say this, but I look at the community in general, and it's not the judgment that I see, but it's the throwing of I hate you, I love you. Like 2 seconds they love each other, 2 seconds they hate each other, and they're doing spell work on against each other. So it's like, I don't know. I prefer the privacy of things. I like one-on-one with customers in general, so I'm big on that. So whoever wants to reach out can do so on my email at whispersfromheavenones@gmail.com, or I don't know, however it floats in their boat. Instagram, same thing, under the same username. So message me and we'll rock, just like I told you.
Don't forget to check her out every other Tuesday on a Little Brew and a Lot of Tea. And she partners up with Stephanie, who is somewhere. I don't know where she is, but she's somewhere. Okay. And she partners up with Stephanie, aka from the Cauldron Witch, and I will make sure to have that link in the description for you guys to check out. And you are going to get some unfiltered stuff there.
Very unfiltered.
Neima, do you have anything coming up?
Nope, just Mystic Dealer on all platforms. Twitching quite a lot.
Yeah, you actually
on Twitch.
Yeah, you have a stream coming up in 30 minutes or so, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be quick then. But yeah, Mystic Dealer on everything. Go check her out, say hi, and give her all the titles in the world because she hates it. So
Yes.
while at it, you guys be sure to follow Unexplained Possibilities on Facebook. I did not forget. It's in the mail. I think it got lost. I didn't forget. I would never
Oh.
forget something like that. Sorry. Anyway, don't forget to follow Unexplained Possibilities on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. Simona, thank you again for coming on. It was great.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
thank
This was
you.
fun. Less anxiety than anything.
See? And with that said, remember, guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Go ahead and tell them hi. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.